All right, so we are here with Coach Brooks, the head coach of the Rockwall Yellow Jackets. And Coach, it's a big day for everyone around the state of Texas, the school districts, with the UIL releasing the realignment for the 2022 through, I guess, 24 seasons. So we now know we can stop all kind of trying to guess and speculate and figure out what makes sense. And I would like to first start there and just kind of get your thoughts. Did anything surprise you we kind of knew some schools were going to be leaving and there was going to be some new blood in the district, but did anything surprise you? They talked about maybe Highland Park, maybe the two Wiley schools come in. Your thoughts on today?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, this was my first time to do this as a head coach. Of course, we didn't get to have our big meeting over in Birdville. So, sitting here on my couch and trying to make phone calls and trying to find games. It was my wife could tell you it was a little hectic there for a little while, but it was good. I mean, as far as surprises, I mean, I was a little surprised that we weren't in an 8-team district. Not necessarily surprised like who it ended up being or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not very smart, but I thought we were going to be in an 8-team, and I kind of had made up my mind. Whoever it is, we're going to be in an 8-team district. And so then when it ended up being a 7-team, that was the thing that was a little bit surprising to me.
Yeah,
So
I think a couple of those districts, I think with the Garland School District and then where Highland Park ended up, those are I think they have, I have to go back and count, but maybe 10 teams in it or something.
Yeah, I think they're both 9-team actually. Yeah, I just thought, I don't know. I just thought that they would kind of even that out and make, more 8-team districts. And so anyway, it ended up being a couple of 9 and then a couple of 7. So yeah, that was a little bit surprising to me.
But as far as the additions of North Forney and Royce City, it felt right? I mean, just geographically, I mean, they're in the backyard. So really quickly on those schools, what you kind of expect and what you kind of know about those schools coming into the district.
Well, I think it's awesome, just because proximity, just to be able to go down the road to Royce City, and then, I mean, right down the road to North Forney also. And so I think that's awesome. I think, it's potential for great games, good rivalries, all sports really. And so I think that's awesome. I was excited about that just because of the close proximity, and I haven't had a ton of opportunities to be around those teams or to see them a whole lot. So I mean, I know that both their head, as far as football goes, both their head coaches do a great job, Coach Luster and Coach Petroff. And so I mean, I was excited just because I think it can make for some good games, good atmospheres, communities that are close to each other. So I thought it was a positive for sure.
As far as it pertains to the Rockwall Yellow Jackets, you guys were already at the top anyway. It was Division I for you guys, and the way it's kind of worked out now, you guys are still at the top, and that kind of maybe puts Rockwall Heath at the top with you guys, depending on, obviously, you got to play the games, right? But I'd like to know, is it business as usual for you guys, or do you step back and kind of evaluate the district?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be business as usual, just as far as, we're going to take the same approach that we would take regardless of who's in the district. We approach that the same way. Obviously for us, it's going to be learning a couple of new teams that we don't really know anything about. And so that'll be different, but our approach is going to be the same. Like you mentioned, we've been 6A D1 and we expect to continue to be that. And so that doesn't really change anything for us. That's not something that I really thought any differently about. So yeah, I mean, we'll take the same approach that we've always taken, and I'm excited about learning about a couple of new teams.
The district, as we now know what it is, just stepping back, because I know you're the athletic coordinator for the school as well, just kind of what it means for the entire school, just to have some new blood in there, and how you guys will go about, scheduling all the different district games and everything like that.
Yeah, I think I would guess that our head coaches of all sports kind of feel the same way that I do. That it's exciting. It's always exciting to get to play new people, but then the just getting to travel right down the road, getting to have communities that are close to each other. So to me, I think it's probably the same in all sports. It's going to be good opportunities. I know that both schools are strong in all areas, and so I mean it's a good opportunity to get to play somebody new and to get to kind of build, I guess, a new rivalry.
As you mentioned it early on, not having the opportunity to go to Birdville and be part of what I'm sure is a crazy
Oh yeah, it is.
room, because everybody's run into each other for schedules for
Yeah,
non-district, pre-district, however you want to say it.
yeah.
Um, can you talk about that process that you went through today, and do you have a non-district schedule set that you would want to share?
Yeah, so it was obviously different today. I've been to Birdville just as an assistant coach. I've been with Coach Webb before and kind of been along for the ride there. So it is exciting. It's something you kind of look forward to. I will say though that I don't know how this got started or who started it, but there was a Google Doc of teams looking for games. And honestly, that was, I think, easier than the way that they normally do it. It was really easy to search, for the weeks that you needed, phone numbers on there, all that kind of stuff. So, typically in Birdville, there's a dry erase board that you kind of write up there what you need, which is, cool in its own way. But I found it was a little bit easier to contact people and, make calls and stuff like that, just because we kind of had that Google Doc to look at. So yeah, that was a big deal for me. With the 7-team district is I already knew that I needed a week 3 non-district game. And so immediately when we find out we're in a 17, well, I now need a week 4 also. So that just created a little extra stress for me, just trying to find games and stuff. So just making a bunch of calls. I had already locked in Cedar Hill week 1 and Jesuit week 2, who we had started playing last realignment. And so, looking forward to getting to play them again. So I knew that already. So it was a mad dash to try to get a week 3 and then a week 4. The 17 districts, you have to play another 17 district because they're the only ones looking for a week 4 game. And so it's like you got to look at that sheet, find the other 17 districts, and then just start calling. But it's everybody in our district is making those same calls, and so it's funny. You get a hold of a guy and they'll say, "Hey, I just talked to so and so at North Forney or whatever." And anyway, just try to be the first one to make the calls. But anyway, it was fun. It was hectic, but it was good. So ended up getting Prosper for week 3 and South Grand Prairie for week 4. So I'm excited about those two. So really, with those 2 new ones for us and then 2 new ones in district, it'll be fun get to learn about 4 new teams in our schedule. So
Do you, when you approach as you're doing this for the first year, do you approach building a non-district schedule? Is there some strategy to it, or are you just, like I said, I mean, hey, sometimes you got to take who you can get?
yeah, I mean, a little of both. For us, I'm proud to say, just where we are as a program, it's not easy. I mean, not everybody is willing to play Rockwall, and so it is a challenge, and there's a lot of people that you end up calling in the process. But I've always been a big believer, and this comes from coming up under Coach Webb, that you play big games in non-district to get your kids used to that. And so that's what I fall into that same line of thinking, want to play as good a teams as we can, and so that's I try to take that same approach when it comes to the week 4 game. It's kind of like everybody's just trying to get, I mean, there's only a certain amount of teams that you can play, and so it was like everybody's calling again, like I said, making the same calls. And so I was happy that we're just happy to find one. South Grand Prairie was awesome. They wanted to play, so it's like, all right, let's do it. And so
Just kind of looking back at the seniors that are now gone and the team that's coming in. Obviously, the biggest name off the board is Braden Locke. But somebody that if somebody's watching this and they're not familiar with the Rockwall Yellow Jackets, who's a name that's up and coming that you're excited about, maybe filling that position or filling any other position?
Oh man, there's there's a lot of guys that I'm
So that I
excited
don't take
about.
all your time, maybe a few, I guess you could say, because I know you
Yeah,
guys are
gosh.
loaded.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say. I mean, especially in the point that we're at right now, like just trying to build and trying to find out about guys. I mean, we got a lot of really good ones that I feel like are gonna step up. Even guys that made an impact last year. Guys that played a lot for us. Guys like Kai Cavan, Jace Chu, Aiden Meeks, Noble Johnson. It's cool to see them. It's cool to see them take on leadership roles now. And so even guys that have played a bunch, like I'm expecting to see more from them, and I'm expecting, even bigger things for them. And defensively, you got a bunch of guys coming back. It's the same deal. I feel like over there, you guys, you've seen Kevin Cunningham and Weston Flowers and Trey Carter, Philip Bazemore. You've seen all those guys, but I'm expecting even bigger things from them. So it's exciting. In a way, I feel like it's even guys that have been on the field kind of taking that next step. Jarrett Stoner, man, guys like that. It's cool to kind of see them take the next step leadership wise and just get themselves ready to be the dudes on Friday night.
Yeah. And lastly, Coach, I don't know, I haven't had a chance to dive in to all the different districts in UIL. I don't know if you have a chance, if you just step back and look at everything. Surprising to me from today was Alito now in with Denton Ryan. Did you see that? Any thoughts on just something that crazy that happened that you didn't see?
Yeah, I hadn't seen that, and then I guess I was just scrolling on Twitter and saw somebody say something about it. But yeah, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that, but yeah, that was pretty crazy. You got things like that, and then you've got districts that didn't change at all. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get every couple of years. So,
No.
Coach, man, I really appreciate your time tonight. And, obviously we wish you the best of luck and in the off season stuff you got going on. Enjoy the snow days that you've had. I know you got the kiddos at home and they're probably enjoying it. I was a little bummed that we didn't get more snow, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of ice out there right now.
Exactly.
They're having fun either way. So
we call it snow. It's ice
right
here, right? But you go to Colorado or something, that's snow.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach,
exactly.
I appreciate your time. I know it was a crazy day for you, and we look forward to catching up with you later on, maybe this spring, but for sure, can't wait for summer. It's right around the corner.
Yeah, no doubt. Sounds good, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach. Have a good night.
All right.